The scariest story about phimosis, because of which the boy was raised for many years in the body of a girl, and he did not even know about it. The story took place in 1965 in the city of Winnipeg, where Janet and Ron Reimer had two twin boys. They grew up fine and were healthy. But after a while their mother noticed that they had problems urinating. It was phimosis, because of whom they went to the hospital for surgery. The operation is basically not complicated, and Bruce was the first to go to it. He was operated on by Dr. Jean-Marie Goua. Instead of cutting off the foreskin with the conventional scalpel, the surgeon decided to use an electric needle, which is usually used to cauterize all kinds of wounds. A terrible thing happened here. He just took and he burned Bruce's penis. The boy was quickly taken to the burn unit. His parents were shocked and just watched for days as his penis fell off. There was no way to stop him, and the parents were just shocked and didn't understand how their son would grow up without genitals. Brian, by the way, was not operated on, thank God. And his phimosis went away just like that. Then the parents accidentally stumbled upon John Manny's television show. He was a scientist who argued that children are born neutral, namely, parents raise a boy or a girl in them. The parents took this as a sign and decided to contact such a doctor. John Manny clung to Bruce with his hands and feet because he understood that this was practically his only opportunity to prove his theory, and he suggested that Bruce's parents make a complete transition to the brand and raise him as a girl without telling about his past. On July 3, 1967, Bruce became a brand and had a vagina made out of a penis. The problem started almost immediately because Brenda didn't look like a girl in any way. Her mother would put a dress on her. She would violently rip it off, throw tantrums, and sit with her legs apart. She wasn't interested in girls' activities at all. She never played with dolls. Her priority was always fighting with her brother, playing with cars, and so on. She, in principle, always dominated her brother, and in their pair she was always stronger. Mom wrote to the doctor with worries that they say she was not growing up as a girl, that he always assured her that she was just a kid. At the age of 5, Brenda felt that something was wrong with her, and her brother began to wonder why his sister was not like other girls at all. They went to school. All the girls were doing their own thing, showing off, and she declared that she wanted to be a garbage man. McGregor, a kindergarten teacher, said she had never seen children who looked like Brenda. One day, a classmate of Brenda's complained to the homeroom teacher that she saw that she was going to the bathroom with her. The mother tried for a long time to wean the girl from this, but she wouldn't give in to anything, and all the toilets were dirty at home because she thought she had a penis. The doctor said all the time that everything was cool, that girls did this quite often. All this was reflected in the school. She was tested. Her egg was normal, but at the same time she did not want to study at all, constantly fought with classmates and so on. When she talked to the girls, she always tried to fix them for herself, and that's all. Manny was silent and said that Brenda was just acting a little bit like a kid, and all the scientists around were jubilant that their friend, their scientist, had almost already been able to prove such an incredible hypothesis immediately after Bruce's castration. Manny arranged with Janet and Ron that they would bring the children to him for an examination every year, but you can't even imagine what this madman was doing to the children. Moreover, Manny was always so good at checkups with his parents that they simply perceived him as an angel descended from heaven. So what was Manny doing to the kids that was so terrible? The kind uncle doctor forced the children to strip naked and try to copulate with each other. The children were afraid of spanking and obeyed the doctor. He showed them pictures of pornography and forced his parents to have sex in front of the kids. Thank God, at least they didn't do it. He argued that such actions take on a healthy gender identity. When Brenda expressed her dissatisfaction and said that she did not feel like a girl, Touch simply forced her to say the opposite. Therefore, over time, Brenda learned that when asked what you like to do, you need to answer sewing and help your mother with cleaning. Every year, there was a huge torment for the girl to come to this clinic and participate in this experiment. She knew that the sooner Manny heard what he wanted to hear, they would leave there. This year, she was crying and heartbroken because she didn't want to go to this clinic. This also affected the girl's brother, who was soon diagnosed with schizophrenia as a result of taking estrogen. Brenda's breasts have grown when she was a teenager. John Manny persuaded her to have surgery to change her vagina permanently. Brenda refused in every possible way, avoided these questions. It came to panic attacks and tantrums as soon as it came to this. She took her estrogen irregularly, which made her voice rough in her teens. She was laughed at and humiliated at school for it. The girl also constantly had suicidal thoughts. John Manny continued to assure his parents that the experiment was going well. Brenda didn't want to let the doctor examine her breasts, even though he demanded it. Therefore, her mother often began to appear naked in front of Brenda, which she did not like at all. With all this colossal onslaught, Brenda wanted to commit suicide and swallowed sleeping pills, but everything is fine. It was pumped out. After some time, Brenda's Loma visited the clinic, and then John Manny took off. He brought a transsexual, who began to persuade Brenda to have this operation. She was 12 years old. John Manny held her by the shoulder so that she would not run away, and the transsexual offered her to talk in private. To discuss her operation, Brenda escaped from the scientist's arms and ran straight to the roof. Then this transsexual found her there. The transsexual took her to her parents, but Brenda forbade him to talk to her. When she told her mother, Janet, that if she was brought to Dr. Manny again, she would commit suicide, Brenda tried to change her behavior later, tried to dance with the boys, to do more feminine things, but all this in her head caused doubt and terrible dislike. Brenda enrolled in the home appliance repair course and became the only girl in this course. Once at a doctor's appointment, when she was asked to show her breasts again and she refused, Winter's doctor said, "Do you want to be a normal girl or not?" That she screamed no, and they passed this information on to Brenda's parents, usually after the reception. The friend picked her up and they drove home, but this time he decided to treat her to ice cream, and then I told her the whole story. Brenda was just shocked. But then she realized why she had felt like a different person all this time. After that, she changed her name to David and underwent many reconstructive sex reassignment surgeries. Again, she also underwent a very serious breast removal operation. By the way, 2 plastic balls were inserted into her scrotum, and therefore David was very often hospitalized with suppuration and various sores in this area. He also kept thinking about the doctor who had crippled him and just ruined his life. And one day I even thought about shooting him. He bought a gun, came to the doctor's office and asked, "Do you recognize me?" He initially said no, but later started crying, and David wanted to take the gun out of his pocket. He just walked away and threw it into the river. David joined his brother's group of friends. He also went out with different girls quite often, but he was afraid that his secret would be revealed, and therefore it never came to sexual intercourse. Once, when he was with the girl, he had too much to drink, and the next morning everything was revealed, after which the whole city was covered with rumors. Later, Brian's wife introduced David to her friend Jane. She had 3 children. They got married and had a wonderful life, but the marriage didn't last long. They divorced. David's brother is dead. He overdosed on pills for schizophrenia. David lost a huge amount of money by accidentally investing in something. In May 2004, he shot himself in his own truck. He was 38 years old, and everyone was wondering how he had healed up to that age. That's such an incredibly sad story. Subscribe to my channel, write about whom to tell in the next one, and be happy!